Okay. So I'm here according to Wisconsin Kenosha Racine Partnerships here. I'm Jasmine Davis. Oh my goodness.
The date and answer general Quest Card related questions. Again, the telephone number for Quest Card customer service is 877-415-5164. Please continue to hold for the next available agent.
Thank you for calling WKRP. This is Shakira. Can I start with a case number or a social security number?
I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. And
Hello?
can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm asking.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? I hear you.
Hello? I'm going to disconnect the call and call you back at this number.
So I don't know what that was about. But let me see if they call back. Yeah, I don't know. What they're doing, but I'm about to call back. It's a huge problem.
Thank you for calling WKRP. English, press 1. Para español, presione. Thank you for calling WKRP with coaching partners. Our regular call center hours are Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you are calling about W-2, please contact the W-2 information line at 855-458-0001. If you are calling about your food share, child care, or medical, please continue to remain on the phone. If you have recently submitted documents...
Hello, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis.
Hi, this is Shakira calling from Wisconsin Kenosha Racing Partners. We received a phone call from this number. I couldn't hear the caller. I was wondering if you still needed assistance here.
I'm Jasmine Renee Davis, and I'm calling to talk to you all about my account.
I still cannot hear you very well. Can you hear me okay?
Is there a reason why you can't hear me?
Is there a reason?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
I don't know if your connection's bad. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I hear you. Can you hear me now?
Okay, can I have a case number? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Can I have a case number or a social security number?
So what case number are you asking me specifically?
What do you mean? You should only have one case number from WKRP.
Okay, so, well, there's different numbers and different things, and I know that you all deal with other things, but I'm asking you so that I can be sure. That case number that I have here is 012-1645100.
All right, and what's your name?
I'm Jasmine Renee Davis.
Okay, just to verify your identity before we get started, can you verify your date of birth and your mailing address?
Okay, sure. My date of birth is June 12, 1986. And what address are you specifically asking? Because there's two on file there.
Okay. I heard your date of birth. I'm not sure what you said after that. It just sounds like a lot of moving. I can't hear.
What address are you specifically asking for? Because there's two listed on the file.
I have a household address, but I'm looking for your mailing address.
Okay, sure. Okay, can you verify that let's get this papers here right now. Okay. Can you verify the household address, because it's actually for it's Workforce Development Center, and I know it's on Sheridan. I want to make sure I have the exact household address that you all have.
I do have the agency as your household address, which is the 8600 Sheridan Road.
Okay, now I'm calling because there was some things that happened with a previous worker where for some reason he changed some stuff and put some invalid information in my account to make me receive almost $100 less than what I'm supposed to. I don't know what he did, but whatever he did, he was not supposed to do. Because I already have received the information that I was supposed to get $290. But then when he did something, I don't know what it was, it went down a whole $100 within a matter of a couple of days. And I had no change in anything. That's when I had taken my son off of the case. Because with my son on the case, I was only getting about $211. And then it increased. Okay. So that should tell you right there that I seen a change when I took my son off of the case. And it's like you all almost didn't even want me to take my son off the case because you were still trying to get information about him. And I'm like, no, I'm not answering that. But that was when I filled out the paperwork. But then you all still sent me information saying that that is $290. I just have to verify that. And I was supposed to get that for the month of April, but I did not. I got about $130. And so I'm calling to make sure you put that additional money onto my account, because I verified with child support. There has not been any changes. And that man said that it was some changes, and it has not been. I have emails from child support, from a male on the case, one caseworker, but it's also information that you have. So that man did something to interfere and put less, because I know that how you put numbers in, that's how it was. But your system, and I know that's how, because I'm not working. And so I'm supposed to get that maximum amount. And I
received the maximum amount if for not working. You get the maximum amount for not having any income. And so you do have income. And
so I'm trying to continue saying what I'm saying. And I understand that I have that amount of child support, but that does not interfere with, because what is actually probably not the maximum amount, because what is the maximum amount?
For a single person household, the maximum amount is $292.
Okay, so I was only supposed to get $290. So it wasn't the maximum amount, but that was with.
So where are you getting? I'm sorry, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding that I'm following you. Where are you getting that you were supposed to receive $290?
It came to you. Just look at it. You can look it up. Just look up in the system. You'll see it yourself. Actually.
What am I looking up? And I'm looking up a letter because I have your future eligibility history, and you haven't received $292 since 2024.
I told you that it changed for the month of April. But for some reason, it did not come through because he changed it. If you look previously, when I did everything on, no, you need to listen, or I can talk to somebody else, because you're talking too much. You're talking and you're not hearing me. I'm going to answer your question, but you can go ahead and keep talking with your smart self and not get the information. That's fine. But you are not the one, and you do not own me. I do not have to beg you for anything. I have solid information that you are refusing to hear. What? What you say? What did you just say?
What are you talking about?
That's your problem. You don't know. You are not listening. You don't even know what's happening here, but you running your mouth. And you won't hear me. I'm trying to tell you. No, I'm trying to tell you. No, I'm trying to tell you exactly where you can see the proof, but you are refusing that. You just trying to confront me.
I'm not refusing anything.
You're confronting me for what are you trying to confront me about? You think this is a game, but it's not. Okay, so why are you interrupting me when I'm talking? What you say?
I'm asking you a question.
What did you ask me?
Did the worker tell you, or was it a letter?
I'm explaining to you exactly what happened, and you don't get to dictate that.
No one's dictating anything.
So listen to me so I can tell you.
Because if it's a letter, I can pull up the letter.
I'm trying to tell you exactly where it's at. I'm trying to tell you exactly where it's at. I'm trying to explain to you. But I'm not going to do too much of this on the phone with you because I do not have to talk to you. Actually, I want to request to speak to your supervisor as well. But you can handle this call. What?
Not a problem.
It is a problem. It is a problem. You can be big and bad and you can showboat and you can make let everybody think that you tough and let everybody know that you tough, but you're not doing your job. So how you going to pay your bills if you're refusing to do your job? Cause you got somebody that's going to take care of you. It does not matter. I don't know anything about you, but what?
You're yelling. I'm not sure why you're yelling.
It's coming from a person that couldn't even hear me.
You're right. I can't hear you.
So don't tell me how to talk. I'm talking as mine. I can, first of all, it's not a crime for me to yell. You don't tell me the tone of my voice. That is not your job. And you are not going to start attacking me because
I can just disconnect the call.
You can just transfer the call to your supervisor so that you're going to disconnect the call so you won't get in trouble. But I want to transfer the call to your supervisor.
Your call will still be escalated. I'm not going to get in any trouble.
Oh, of course you're not. Of course you're not. You know why? Because you have found a way to blame me. You have found, I don't care. This not your life. You don't have any attachment to it whatsoever. But you're steady over talking me, but you go ahead with your bad self, girl. You keep doing what you doing. It don't matter. You want to talk like this because I'm getting food stamps, but you know nothing about me. But just as well as I'm getting food stamps, you getting money from that same stream of income. That same taxpayer dollar paying you, girl. You working for somebody else getting that same money.
421-9484.
That is not the number, and that is not the number that you called. And I updated that phone number in the system. So that's showing some more that you all are doing wrong.
Would you like me to call you back on?
You all are not going to keep keeping me.
Would you like them to call you back on?
You know what? The same number that you called. But I'm going to say what I have to say. You all are not going to continue to keep me from my calls by starting your little fuse with me. You keep doing that. But I try to answer your question, but you're their fighter, huh? What are you?
What number would you
You're their fighter, huh?
What number would you like them to
Do you know what number that you called? Do you know the number you called?
I just redialed. So what number would you like them to call you back on?
Okay, and so who are you trying to have to call me back?
You would like a supervisor to talk to you, right?
Who would you have called me back?
A supervisor.
A supervisor of what?
Okay. What phone number would you like a supervisor to call you back on?
A supervisor of what?
The supervisor of WKRP.
And what is WKRP? And what is WKRP? No, what is WKRP?
That's who you called, Wisconsin Commercial Racing Partners. This is WKRP. What phone number would you like them to call you back on?
Why can't I speak to them now? Why can't you transfer the call now? Why can't you transfer the call now? I called today, not to wait for you all to prolong this. I called today.
This is how escalated calls work. If you like to speak to a supervisor, it's escalated. You don't get transferred directly to a supervisor.
And what policy is that?
The policy that you don't get, the policy of escalated calls. If you like to speak to a supervisor, the call gets escalated. That's it. You don't get transferred directly to a supervisor.
And you just talking any old kind of way to me on the phone, not even professional. You literally fighting me. For what?
I'm not.
What's your name?
I tried to help. My name is Jacayla.
How you trying to help me, Jacayla? How you try to help me? You're not helping me. No, you need to help yourself right now. Because when I try to explain to you, you're going to try to force me. No, you need to hear. And I have updated phone numbers in the system. You go right ahead. Go do what you're doing. I don't care. I don't care. They're not going to terrorize me. No, they're not. I do not care. And if people find that I will never get ahead, they ain't going to ever get ahead as well. Because what I wanted to show is I tried to explain exactly where it was, whether or not I told her it was in the system, and they know that, and they see the notes, and basically they probably have a note for attack or to distract or whatever. Because there's no reason why she could have had to keep interrupting me. Fuck that. So I'm about to make sure here. I'm about to play these games with these people. You gonna listen to me? This is my case. I'm in control, and I'm gonna always make sure they know that I can handle my call. They are not going to be in control. And as it said, you know what I'm saying? It's not about being in the driver's seat, but I'm making sure. I'm not playing any goddamn games. Yeah, I'm not about to be messing around with them. I am going to keep control of my own life, and I'm not even asking them for all that much. That's another problem. Just hear me. Can you please just hear what I'm saying? But you're going to sit up there and you want to let them know that you can bully the shit out of somebody. And you're going to pull me and push me. And if I don't hurry up and answer questions how you want to answer questions, you're going to hang up on me. Well, you take your little ass on and keep doing what you're doing on that phone call. That's what you keep doing, because it does not work that way. No, it does not work that way. And it won't work that way. That's inappropriate. It's unprofessional. But they see that they got to pick their side so they can be on the right side of slavery. Because they want to be a house nigga. And it don't matter. That's how I'm describing it. But what you got to realize is you still in a slave ship yourself by the way that you talking. You're not getting any information. You're not learning. You apparently don't know how to navigate through your system, because all you had to do is look at your computer and you would have found the information. All you had to do was listen to what I said. All she had to do, what that person had to do, was just hear what I had to say. But no, she wanna basically tell me, no, hurry up and tell me, and you got one or two questions. No, it don't work like that, because that wasn't what I was referring to. I wasn't referring to a letter or what somebody told me. And I explained it, and then she still didn't even hear me and comprehend what I'm saying. But she had the nerve to give me some kind of abusive attitude. No, you can keep that for yourself. I don't self-inflict wounds. So I can't relate to that. I'm not a part of their family. But what she gonna have to realize is she getting money from the government. She getting taxpayer dollars to pay her. But just because she on a different side of it, she had to apply and she get to sit at the computer. She's so much better. I'm handling my own life. I'm living my own life out here. So it is no comparison. And why would I have to compare that? Why do I have to call and go through a few every time I call these people? This is the, they talk about the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them the strength to make it easier. Let the children's laughter. Please. Shit. I'm going to continue to be who I am and live my life as Jasmine Renee Davis. And if a child want to grow, a child should grow. But I'm not about to have these wannabe grown folks busting me and bullying me and don't know what they talking about and barely can think off the tip of their nose. And then I get in trouble when they try to be so grown and big and bad and talk crazy or ignorant, or not ignorant or crazy, but talk disrespectfully or unhealthy. Matter of fact, they talk so unhealthy to me and giving me all kind of ultimatums. You don't have to do that, because another thing I found out today, that they still are keeping phone numbers that they should not keep in their system. I'm not going to worry about it. I updated for 1-262-505-7137. And so since they don't want to call that number, and I'm asking them, trying to talk to her and ask her what numbers you have in the system, and I'm trying to explain to her and talk to her, that's fine. You're not going to abbreviate your and hashtag your way through everything. And I know that to be true. Yeah, I use hashtags, but I have to make sure it's more than just a hashtag. I'm not going to write a letter and put all hashtag WKRP and expect for it to get to that person, because they might think I'm talking about a radio station or anything. Don't just talk to me like that. Some WKRP in Cincinnati. I'm not about to play with these folks. Yeah, beg these folks, and they don't do nothing but waste a day away. Gotta beg for food. Oh, that's just so interesting. Beg these people for food.
KRP. For English, press 1. Para español,
And then they
presione
shut
dos.
fuse. What you working on the fuse for anyway?
For all other languages, please press 4.
Shit.
Invalid entry. For English, press 1. Para español, presione dos. For all other languages, please press 4. Thank you for calling WKRP Wisconsin Kenosha and Racine Partners. Our regular call center hours are Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you are calling about W-2, please contact the W-2 information line at 855-458-0001. If you are calling about your food share, childcare, or medical, please continue to remain on the phone. If you have recently submitted documents or verifications, please allow our agency up to 10 days for processing. You will receive a notice of decision in the mail. Are you a MAP member calling about your premium payment? If you sent a check, you do not need to wait on this line. We have gotten a high volume of checks and are processing them. The call center does not have further information. It may take a few days for your Access account to show your payment. Thank you for your patience.
But
If you need
They
information
need to
about how to make a
understand who
payment,
listen to
you
these
can do it
recorded
online
calls.
on the
Too,
access.wisconsin.gov
that I
website
don't
for
take this
using the
stuff
My
lightly,
Access
man. This
smartphone
is
app.
so serious.
You can also pay by check by sending to MAP Premiums, P.O. Box 93187, Milwaukee, Wisconsin,
It don't matter.
53293.
You still need to be professional.
Again, that's P.O. Box 93187, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
But I'm supposed to be the one
53293.
professional no matter who come and talk to
If you
me.
need
Well,
to
what you
find out
trying
your
to
premium
make me
amount,
into?
please stay on the line.
Because
Thank you.
you have to realize that
You or the
I can
person you
speak
are
different
calling from
languages.
is blind, disabled,
Because they always never
a
understand.
resident of a nursing home, long-term care facility, or enrolled in Family Care Partnership,
Two.
IRIS, or PACE program,
Shit.
press 1. For all other calls regarding food share, child care, or medical assistance, press 2. To repeat these options, press 9.
Invalid entry. This call may be monitored
How you
and
gonna
recorded
say
for
invalid
quality
entry and not
purposes.
even press a
Please
button?
hold for the next available agent.
These people are something else, man.
Your estimated wait time is less than 15 minutes.
And somebody had to
Caller in
somebody literally before it
If
was
you would like to hold
mine.
your place in line
No.
and have a representative call you back, please press 1.
No,
Otherwise, please remain on the line.
it's not gonna make y'all say we did call. No, you didn't call back, and that's not always it. But I'm just making sure.
Did you know you can use Access to apply
I
for
can hold
or
the phone
renew your
for 15
benefits,
minutes.
report changes, or complete a 6-month report form?
Or more.
Access is available 24 hours
And
a
sit
day,
it right here
7
where
days
it's
a week.
sitting
The
too.
website for Access is access.wisconsin.gov. That is access.wisconsin.gov. Or try the simple and convenient My Access mobile app to check the status of your programs and benefits, get reminders
I'm
about
trying.
actions you need to
I just
take,
don't.
and
For
submit
what
and
they
track
just seem
documents
to
needed for your case.
want to fight
Download
me.
the app for free today on the App Store or the
Because
Google
how
Play
do I
Store.
get a whole all these counts, 8 counts for trying to talk to them and
You can
reason
send
with
copies
them,
of your documents
and to
P.O.
the
Box
point where I'm having to
5234, Janesville, Wisconsin,
raise my voice,
53547,
and they talk like that
or you may
all
fax
the
it
time I
toll
call
free
them.
to 855-293-1822.
And now they see that in
Be
the
sure
court
to write your
records, they
case number
really
on your
gonna cut up
documents
and
if you
think
know
they
it.
can do something.
Again, that address is
That's
P.O.
what kind of
Box
generation they raising these people. They got them
534,
right where they want them.
Janesville,
But what they
Wisconsin,
got to realize is you might be getting moved out the way
53547,
yourself,
or by
because
fax
not everybody
toll-free
going to play
to
around with you.
855-293-1822. You can also upload or scan your documents to us online at www.access.wisconsin.gov.
I ain't never really been that kind. I say what I had to say and going about my way. I wasn't being disrespectful to people that were trying to talk to me. I know I have a mouth, but I want just.
If you are calling to replace your
not
board
trying
health
to hear
card,
shit
please call
and just
800-362-3002.
like disregarding people and trying to harm them. I've never been harmful.
If you are calling for assistance with your Quest card, please
But I
call
sure have learned along the way.
877-415-5164.
I literally have
Quest card
went
services
through
can
some
assist you
stuff
with
and
replacing your
accepted
Quest
some
card,
things that
reset your password, provide you with
wasn't
account
even.
balance, provide you with your standard and ongoing food share deposit date, and answer
I
general
just
Quest
didn't know
card-related
that.
questions. Again, the telephone number for Quest Card customer service is 877-415-5164. Please continue to hold for the next available agent.
If anybody can be whoever they are at their job and talk on the phone to be however they talk, I can talk however I want to talk. They the ones that's at work. They the ones with the training. Shit. I don't have no motherfucking training from them, and they want people to believe that they train me, and they are getting caught up in their lie when they find out that I'm nothing like them, and so they want to shut me the fuck up and say that I just can't learn, but they did teach me, and you did not teach me shit. Y'all been learning from me and other people that is associated with me, or have been associated, or any of the likes of myself personally. Jasmine Renee Davis. Tell the truth, shit. Cause you keep getting all these motherfuckers that's not educated, or you getting all these people that's not educated, or you getting people that you can easily convince, or you can buy with a price, or all these different things. But it's a change. Okay. Y'all motherfuckers being so nosy, you need to understand the cost out here. Shit. They do not stop. Now I don't have to stop. And I don't have to stop, but I don't have to keep going in that direction. I have myself. Dry ass shit. So much constipation. It's ridiculous. And I'm not dealing with it because I'm not constipated. And I'm not going to have them keep doing this to me. I'm not a member with them. And then they just hang the phone up. They know what they doing. They got caller ID.
Press 1. Para español, presione 2. For all other languages, please press 4.
1.
Thank you for calling WKRP Wisconsin Kenosha and Racine Partners. Our regular call center hours are Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you are calling about W2, please contact the W2 information line at 855-458-0001. If you are calling about your food share,
that's how I know
child care,
that
or
it's
medical,
more than just a
please continue to
conspiracy.
remain on the phone. If you have recently submitted documents or verifications, please allow our agency up to 10 days for processing.
How can you give
will receive
anybody a
notice of
chance to
decision in the
heal?
mail.
How?
Are you a MAP
How are
member
they? How
calling
can I
about your
give them a
premium
chance to
payment?
heal?
If you send
What
a
is
check,
healing?
you do
They
not
don't
need to
believe
wait
in
on
that.
this line.
Apparently, they the
We
only
have
ones that
gotten a
can
high
heal.
volume of checks
Why are
and
they?
are processing them.
Why are y'all the only
The
ones
call
that can
center
heal?
does not have further information. It may take a few days for your Access account to show your payment.
I gotta keep fighting.
Thank you for your patience. If you need information about how to make a payment, you can do it online on the access.wisconsin.gov website or using the My Access smartphone app. You can also pay by check by sending to MAP Premiums, P.O. Box 93187, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53293. Again, that's P.O. Box 93187, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53293. If you need to find out your premium amount, please stay on the line.
I'm out here. I have to do what
Thank you.
I have to do, and people want to be nosy and
or the
they
person
trying to
you are
figure
calling
out what I'm
is
doing,
blind,
where I'm at,
disabled,
all these
over
different
the age of
things.
65,
Like
a resident of a
they
nursing
looking
home, long-term care
for
facility,
like
or enrolled in Family Care Partnership,
not
IRIS,
entertainment,
or PACE
but
program, please press 1. For all other calls regarding food share, child care, or medical assistance, press
they
2.
are looking
To
for
repeat
press
these
2.
options, press 9.
Press 2 again.
Invalid.
Press 2. How you gonna tell
Or the
me?
person you are calling about is blind, disabled, over the age of 65, a resident of a nursing home, long-term care facility,
Come on.
or enrolled in Family Care Partnership, IRIS, or PACE. Please press 1. For all other calls regarding food share, child care,
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality purposes. Please hold for the next available agent. Your estimated wait time is less than 15 minutes.
You are the 10th caller in the queue.
If you would like to hold your place in line and have a representative call you back, please press 1. Otherwise, please remain on the line.
They're looking for like a plot, some kind of story. Keep them like in history. You know what I'm saying? Like they looking for stage plays now. That's what kind of fucking shit this is a lot of times. But I ain't never know that about this place because that ain't how everybody gonna participate in that shit. And that's why people need to start running up to their hospitals and start trying to build their own and learning, because this shit is it's not. I'm not with all this stupid ass shit how they are, but I have to steady go to court because they the ones who what. These motherfuckers making $7 or $10 or $15 an hour, but they sitting there and you letting them control my life. And I'm out here making sure I live, trying to talk to them. And you gonna tell me I can't control my own life? These people got barely enough to even take care of themselves. So shouldn't they be telling themselves what to do, and shouldn't you be telling them how to do business? How are you letting them boss me? They can't take care of me. I don't want them to, even if they made $1 million an hour. I'm not gonna sit out here and insult nobody, but I'm just saying, man, they should got something better to do, like increase their wage, their lifestyle wage and earnings. Whatever they choose to do, they have no right to judge me. They don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I wanna talk down on somebody because they get food stamps and stuff. That is so inappropriate.
If you are calling to replace your Ford Health Card, please call 800-362-3002. If you are calling for assistance with your Quest card, please call 877-415-5164. Quest Card Services can assist you with replacing your Quest card, reset your password, provide you with account balance, provide you with your standard and ongoing food share deposit date, and answer general Quest Card related questions. Again, the telephone number for Quest Card customer service is 877-415-5164. Please continue to hold for the next available agent.
Got the recording. Man said that he seen in 290 on there and try to say it's because it was a change in the child support. Now you can't work your way around it. You need time to figure out what you're gonna come up with next. You see what I'm saying? No. Keep that shit real. It's a problem, man. This shit has a cost. Talk to these people reasonably. Why they just making appointments for me? That's a problem. Telling me I need to participate in the FSET program. This shit is ridiculous, man. Ain't doing shit but slowing my process down. The things that I have to do. I have stuff to do in my life. And they want to take record of everything and write down my every move so that they can continue to watch me and follow me. I'm not their next big star. And they're going to have to understand that. They are fatal attractions. And it seems like nobody hear me. Because I'm overreacting. You know why? Because I'm the same Jasmine Renee Davis that everybody's fucking friend. And I'm not. I'm not your bro. I'm not your sis. I'm not your child. Shit, man. Everybody know me. That's your problem. This hometown ass shit gets besides this goddamn self. You trying to hold on to something that cannot be held on to. Then not only that, you all make it so like disruptive. Shit. Shit. It's like, come on, I got too much stuff that I have to do. And I don't feel like having to go through all this shit. What the fuck? I don't have none of them coming in. I'm gonna keep it real. I should not have to have any emotional attachment with them. This shit should be by the book. And not them falsifying to make it look like I'm some kind of head case for them. That's all they fucking know. But they don't ever consider, and they probably didn't find out that they the fucking ones that they reading about. And that's not me. And so they're going to just create something to keep it going. I seen how them probation officers just wrote a whole motherfucking story. I said, these motherfuckers are literally writing fictional books. This shit is ridiculous. And I'm calling over there too. They still have not emailed me all the way from motherfucking November. Not playing with them, man. Or October. Shit. No, it's November. Wait, no, let me see. Might have been October. Probably. I don't know exactly. Probably. Yeah, probably November. Because it wasn't that cold outside. I don't have to deal with that mess. Yeah. And then what about them? As soon as any of them, they get upset, they raise their voice, but they can do it. How the fuck can you do it? But what kind of human are you that you saying that who are you? For real, like, what kind of temperament do you want me to have to handle this? Because you're police officers and you're all these people, you don't raise your voice. I don't have to be on drugs.
Thank you for calling WKRP. This is Lisa. May I please have your case number or a social security number?
Lisa, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. And can you tell me exactly what case number you are referring to? I actually just opened another letter and there's some other number that's on this letter too. So I just want to make sure here.
Yeah, on any correspondence that you receive, the case number should be in the upper right-hand corner of the letter.
What case number are you specifically asking me?
For your state of Wisconsin benefits, for any health care, food share, child care benefits.
Okay, I appreciate that information. And that's for Wisconsin's Kenosha Racine Partners from the Centralized Document Processing Unit.
The Centralized Document Processing Unit would be where any letters originated from. But yeah, it would be your case number with WKRP.
Right, and so that came
Wisconsin
from
Kenosha Racine Partners.
P.O. Box, Post Office Box 5234, Janesville, Wisconsin 535475234. That case number is 0121-645-100.
All right, one moment, please, while I pull that up. That's not coming up as a valid case number.
Well, can you tell me what number that you... What number?
I'm sorry, I missed a 1 in there. Give me just a second. There we go. All right. And then if you could just also verify your date of birth for me.
Sure. My date of birth is June 12, 1986.
All right. And you did give me your name already, so I have that.
Oh, I said my name to you, but I did not give you my name. I did tell you my name, though. Right.
All right. If you want to just verify that again, then.
I can tell you my name. I'm not giving you my name, and I'm particular in my cultural awareness and specifically who I am. I am Jasmine Renee Davis.
Okay, thank you. We just need 2 verifications. How can I help today?
Okay. So I'm calling because there has been some activities on my account that has been inappropriate. I was supposed to receive $290, but for some reason that changed. And that's because the interviewer must have put some wrong information somewhere in the system where it brought the amount down for food share nearly $100. Okay. And there has been no changes. He said that there was a change in child support, but there never was. I did talk to child support, and there has not been any changes. But it's something that he did, because you still see that the phone bill is on it you all are using, that I pay a phone bill, and he still kept that on there. And so, even though I told him that I didn't want to add any bills onto there, but he still have it on there. So there's something on there that you all have mismanaged. And so that has to be corrected, and you all have to make sure you put those additional funds that you all missed onto my food share account immediately.
Okay.
Because in the system,
I do show that we do have your phone bill listed on there. The obligation is $100 a month. Is that correct?
But the problem is, you all, I'm not even, where are you talking about my phone bill right now, though? I already talked about that.
You brought the phone bill up, so I was just verifying that what I have on your case is what you're also stating, that everything matches.
Okay, and that's why I asked you why you were bringing that up. And then you
mentioned child support, so I'm just going to look that up as well, just to verify. Give me just a moment.
And yes, I definitely spend as much as $100 or about 70 to, it's basically $100, because I have to extend that and I can prove that payment.
Yeah, it's not being questioned from what I see here.
Well, regardless, I'm just verifying it for the record.
Okay.
But when I first told you about that, I had more than one line of service on my account, but I'm still paying, more of an amount as well. So. And what's your name?
Lisa.
Lisa, okay. What's your job title there at Wisconsin Kenosha Racine?
Economic support.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. I always ask, it's no particular time. Sometimes I don't get right to it, but it is a question that I ask. So
yeah,
that
that's no problem. I always state my name in the beginning of the call. I mean, you should know it.
No, I wasn't paying attention, so I was kind of on something else. So I did not keep up with that name when you did say it, if you said it. So that's why I asked right now. And so is there a reason why you're saying I should know it? Know your name?
No, it's just a courtesy that we give our name out.
Okay, so when you say I should know it, can you tell me to what context I should know it? Because that is, why should I know it?
No, it's just to be personable. A lot of people like to know who they're speaking with.
Because that word, I should know it, can be taken in different ways. And so that's why I was just wanting you to clarify.
Yeah, I've never been asked that before, but yeah, I can see where you would question. So no, it's just to be personable with whoever's calling. Mm-hmm. We ask for yours, so we provide ours.
Yeah, I plan to keep my name, and I want you all to know that. I don't need you to carry this is not a price to pay that you all are paying me to rule my life here or later. So I want you to know that, because it is that serious to me, just from evidence.
Okay, so right now I'm just taking a look at the child support screen. I know you said that was probably incorrect, so I'm just looking. Is that back child support that you're receiving? I just show it under your name. Usually
there's
it's under
arrears.
The child's name.
Yep.
It's the only reason I'm asking.
Yep, it's back child support.
Okay. And when it comes to child support calculations, basically what we do is take a 3-month average of the previous 3 months. So we're still in April, which means right now we look at January, February, and March. So I am averaging that out to $201.80 per month as far as payments. Let me just make sure that's correct. Yep, that's over the last 3 months. So, yeah, it was previously in here a little bit higher, so let me go ahead and update that.
Because sometimes I get about, like 120 or something like that a week, but sometimes I get just as low as like $80 or something a week. Or if not even $80 a week.
Common. That's why we take an average instead of just using 1 month.
Right, and I knew that too. And it has, because I have gotten like $7 payments. And then that person said that it was like $500 and something. I was like, that could be sometime, but that's very not that often. But sometimes I get like 2 payments of $60 or something like that. But sometimes I might get, 1 payment of like $40, or sometimes it comes to as like $13 or $7. It's never always every week. So you're right. Like that average, it could sometimes be 201. It is. And so, but he had put like, I was getting like an average of 500 and something. I was like, that don't even sound right. But if that's what you want to put, then that's fine. But not every week do I get $120. And $120 is not even a day's wages. You know what I'm saying? I can barely even pay my bills and do what I have to do. I'm spending mainly all my money on food. I have a hard time making sure
unless there was a tax intercept or something, I'm not seeing.
No, it hasn't been. It hasn't been yet.
The number was in here at $555 a month, but when I run the average for the previous 3 months, I'm getting $201. So it is a big difference, but I did correct it. I wonder if he counted April as well, added an extra month. Still, it isn't even that high.
And I was trying to explain it, but it's like, I don't want to fight about it. But then I said, you all are trying to have me do some programs and stuff and work to get this money, but you're not even giving me what I'm supposed to get. I'm not going to do that. Like, I want to also
I see what they were seeing. There's payments from Tyrell.
That's what I told you.
Are you receiving for 2 children?
Yes, I told you that sometimes I receive just $67 and plus like a $13 payment. Sometimes it's
yeah, I see the 67. Yeah, okay, that's with Tyrell. The other page or the other screen that I had up here was
there's only an order for $13, though. That's what I'm telling you, or $7 a week for the other one. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm honest about everything that I do. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, just keep it like that. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah. So,
but I cannot tell you how you gonna count.
I can't. Payments from Derek. Derek's averaging $201.80, and then there's another court case here. Just open that back up again, and that's with Tyrell, and he's the one with the $67.92 payment
for Tyrell.
Yeah, for Tyrell. So let's see what those average out to be.
But I'm telling you right now, I don't always get this average of $201 from Derek now. I'm telling you. Sometimes those payments are $7.
When we look at those, like I said, we average 3 months, but if we see 30 days with no payments, then we do not count it. So if he happens to go a whole month with not making any payments, definitely give us a call and let us know, because then we wouldn't be counting that income.
Well, I did.
It can change, and there are many cases where it goes up and down depending on those payments.
It was a time where it was over 30 days and I didn't receive a payment, and you all didn't do anything about it. And I believe that was 2024, 2000. Yeah, I told you. That's what I said. And it was just like, because I called, I said, I haven't been receiving any child support payments. They said it has to be 30 days. I said, it should be 30 days by now. And it was just a couple days off of 30 days or something like that. And I called back. This was last year, 2024, actually. And it was, I believe, in April or May. I don't believe
I talked to you, but...
I'm not saying it was you at all.
Yeah.
But what I am being is honest about all of this situation. Now, you can go ahead and do the math, but all of this math was considered anyway before. So you go ahead and do the math, and then I'm still going to let you know after I hear what you say, what I have to say as well.
Yeah, what we come up with, sure. All right. Okay, so yeah, that's where they got the 500 was for both combined.
And that's why I said, okay, it's not always that amount, but sometimes it could be. And that's why, but it still was not that 290 was still how much I was supposed to get, because you all averaged in it already. You did what you had to do, but go ahead and you can tell me, and then I have what I have to say. And so what exact number did you get that you're saying 500?
The average I got is $511.51, and that's combined between both individuals. That's all to total altogether.
Okay. Because this money isn't coming from public assistance. This is money coming from private pay. And I was told in order to get food stamps that I had to go on child support. Even though I said, no, I don't want to be on child support. I don't want to do all that. I could take care of my own children. They said, and I said, I don't even want to ask that man for anything. He's not doing. And they said that I have to go on child support. They told me at Kenosha Workforce Development Center.
Yeah, child support automatically gets involved.
But that's intrusive though too. Like people should be able to have a private life. And you shouldn't interfere and try to be in the middle of someone's relationship. Your problem is with me, not with who I have had a baby with or anything like that. Because why are you all trying to
do with child support? I only see the payments.
Well, I was told that it was because of food share. So you would know something about that.
I know what you receive in food share, and I know that if you're receiving food share, then child support automatically gets involved. But that's the extent of my involvement.
So do you know why though?
I just take the food share application.
Oh.
And then.
Okay, Lisa.
Yeah, I've never worked in child support side of things, so they would be able to answer more of those questions.
So much of it though is through the Department of Children and Family Services though, so. And a lot of times it's just like, at what point, just because you all are giving however much of food stamps, that don't mean that you're like my parents or my children's grandparents or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you all cross the line, like very strategically and abrupt, like not abruptly, but it's almost like all at once, but you all do it in such a way where it's just like, it's just inappropriate. So, but
all right, give me just a moment then to run those updates through.
Oh yeah, but I keep my own time. You have to get your own time, but I can hold the phone.
Okay, so the beginning of the call, you said you were receiving about $200 a month in food share. Looks like
it's supposed to be
204, and then April dropped down to 130. Is that correct?
So this is what I said. I was receiving $204 when I had my son. Okay, so with two people, that should tell you right there. I was getting more money with two people on this case, with my son having his own money that you all counted, plus the child support. And then so I had to reapply or something like that. Okay. And I got the notification that it would be $290. And you all had that in letter form, but it was also in the system on the WKRP the accesswisconsin.government website that said $290. Okay. And then, I did not know that I had to call in for the interview because they had updated the website that, okay, for April, I'm going to get just me, Jasmine Renee Davis is going to get $290. I answered all of the questions and it said, you know, they entered in child. They asked me, was there any changes in the child support? They had the listing, the numbers, just like you just did for the child support. All that stuff was entered in and they said $290. But then when I called, it was confirmed that yes, it was stated $290. But then all of a sudden it went down to like $187 because of whatever reason. But I know that there has been no change, no increase at all. And I see that you can see that. And I even have an email from a child support worker that said that there has not been any changes.
Well, and I did go in and verify those child support payments, and I updated that. I'm still not showing the $204, but we do have the child support information updated. And it looks like when you called earlier today, they did turn your case over to a supervisor to review everything.
Oh, so that's not why I was asking for a supervisor. That is not, no, that is not why I asked to speak to a supervisor. I was asked to speak to a supervisor because that person didn't want to do her job. And so she started a fight with me, but she said that she didn't have a number to turn it over. No, that's not why I wanted to talk to a supervisor.
What happens is we just email the supervisor with the case number and ask that they review the case and then call you.
No, but why would you do that? No, I'm not waiting for a supervisor because that's not the reason I asked. And you don't put over a message and say for nothing. No, you don't do that. I did not ask for that supervisor to talk to me about my case. That's something that you can handle. But you see how she didn't put the proper information in there. She didn't tell the truth that it was about her phone conduct.
You received a letter about the $290.
You know what? No, and I didn't even tell her it was a letter. She's being dishonest. I have the call recorded. You have the call recorded. That is not what happened.
Correct.
That is not what happened. You can pull the call.
The supervisor will pull the call clip up and listen to it, so they'll know exactly what happened.
But anyway, I'm calling to talk to you all about that. You all know what's happening. You should explain that, because she actually ended the call, and she didn't even get the proper phone number to even have a supervisor call. So I would never get the call from the supervisor. So anyway, I'm asking you, what do you see? Because there are some discrepancies on this, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this. It's investigated.
We just did. I'm showing the food share as, let me go back to that page here. I'm waiting on the computer here. I apologize.
Oh, for what?
The computer's running a little bit slow here. Yeah, I'm showing only an increase to $199, where I know you said you're expecting $290.
Okay, so no, it's not that I'm expecting. So go back into your screen, because I know you can, and because that person who had went and found like it was 180 whatever, or 183 or 7 or something like that. He even found where it said, so where he even found that you seen the 290. Where did it, that's the amount that I was supposed to get, and I was getting that before. So that's why I said you are putting something in the system.
290 would be the maximum amount that any one person can receive with no income.
What I'm telling you is,
if you had no income at all, you would qualify for the 290.
Okay, and what I'm telling you is that's not 290. What's the maximum amount? 290 what?
290 even would be.
It's not 292. It's not 292.
With no income.
So you tell them. So it's not
food share benefit.
It's not $292.
292. Not that I'm saying. I'm sorry, that did increase. You're right. It's $292. It was $290. It went up to $292. You're correct. So $292 would be the maximum amount with no income.
All you have to do is just look at your screens. Go back into your screens, and you can see what was notified to me. And that is proof right there. All you have to do is look through your screens. It's there. I know it's there. Anything that you all put out there, it has to stick. You can't erase it. It's all there. Any notification.
In a letter that you received, is that what you're saying?
You all had notified me on the website, on the portal. And it says, for the month of April, I will be receiving $290. And the person who I did that interview with or whatever even went back and he verified it himself that it said that. And I recorded that call just as well as I'm recording this one. But I see it for myself. It don't matter I know what it said. And so it's something that you all are adding in your numbers. It's something where you are changing that up. Because even for you to have changed it from $187 to $199, that's still a difference as well.
Yeah, and that's because they were calculating $550 in child support, and I got $511. So that's what caused the change when I updated things. So
some weeks I only get $7.
Some weeks dated the 11th
No, some
of
weeks
this month?
no, I said it was from March. That was listed in March.
Okay, let me go to March then.
But some weeks I only get like a $7 payment. Some weeks I get a 13. Some weeks is more. You know, it just really depends.
That's why we take an average. Yeah.
So.
Okay, I show where food share closed in March. Let me see. Here's a letter dated the 17th. Let's see what that says.
But I didn't tell that person that it was on a letter that I received. So you all have another problem on your hand, and you just keep getting bigger.
I do have a
and bigger.
copy of the letter here. Let me see here. And it says the $292 per month.
Can you remail that out to me, though?
Until there is a change in your case.
It hasn't been any change. It hasn't been any change. Can you please remail that letter out to me for my records, though? There hasn't been any change.
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to. Let me see the date here. 17th. Okay, I just requested a duplicate of that letter to be mailed to you, so that'll go out tomorrow, and you'll have that for your records.
So can you explain that? Because there hasn't been a change.
Well, let me take a look. The only changes that I'm seeing are in the child support amount.
What's the change? There hasn't been any change. The child support agency themselves even said it hasn't been any changes. It hasn't been any changes on my account and this whole year. This is over the 4th month in the year. You say you only go back 3 months. I have the email from the child support worker that I can submit to you. I can upload it onto I can email it to you. There hasn't been any changes. So you all are doing some other stuff that you should not be doing. That letter came out and there has not been any changes since March 17th, though. You all need to honor that $292 because it does not matter.
Well,
you all configure everything in there.
March 17th, they were counting any of the child support
Yes, they
income.
did. They
That's
did.
where you got the maximum, and then they updated it.
They asked.
It.
They ask,
that
they
you're
show
receiving
when I go through the interview process, they ask, am I still getting the child support? I said, yes, I have it. So what are you talking about? Can you also mail out a copy of that interview? I mean, of that application, because I'm approved this. They asked me, all of the information is there. And they asked, are you still getting the child support? I said yes. But my son's income was not configured into that. But anyway, how was I getting $204 of 2 people with more money, but I'm getting way less with 1 person? Come on now. How? It was way more money. How?
I'm looking. Give me a minute here.
While you all keep doing your investigations, I'm going to do mine. Because there's no reason why I have to continue to go through all this random stuff over and over again. What is the real reason for all of this stuff? Okay, and then this is another thing. When I had my son on there, I was getting, in the summertime, I was getting about $290. And then it went down to like $211. Because the maximum for 2 people is how much? What's the maximum for 2 people for child support? I mean, not on child support, but on food share.
With no income?
What's the maximum period?
The maximum for 2 people with no income would be $536.
Okay. So I was getting at one point $290 with my son
Correct.
on there.
I saw that in the history.
But then why did that change? And there was no change in the income.
Well, that's what I'm backtracking here. I'm trying to look into case history to see. This is the first time I've worked on your case, so I'm trying to go back and follow their path here and see what changed and where on your case.
But the problem is, this is why I'm really not
fluctuating.
that interested in all this stuff, because you guys give more than what you give. You don't have a reasonable explanation. And then not only that, though, I have to go through snappy people that, like in the summer, this person was making changes onto my account. I said, don't make a change on my account. You didn't ask me for that. She said, okay, well, I'll just take it off then. I'm like, you don't just make changes on somebody's account without telling them. Well, it's an increase. You should be happy. No, it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of attitude that they give me. Just because you are, no, I might not accept that. And so I've had people that I've talked to that have been just so unprofessional on the phone, and they do whatever on my account. And they might change a number here and change a number there, miscalculated here, miscalculated there. But I have not had any changes. Just like you all have said, you automatically enroll me in HMOs, and you updated, you did an interview for me for healthcare without my permission and all this different stuff. You do not just do stuff on my account without notifying me about every change. I'm not the type of person that's going to be in autopilot. I don't like that. I never have been like that. You all don't even have the actual start date that I have ever first got food share at all. That is so many people. I mean, I've been literally having to command on the phone, being upset with people talking to them because they have had inaccurate information talking to me about and they were saying things like, oh, well, I was getting it this time, or I was like, I was in jail during that time. What are you even talking about? Or it was long years before then. They tell me I had first applied in 2017 and all these different numbers that they have out there. You all have a mess. And I don't appreciate that. When I applied online, I had everything there in writing. It's all in writing. And it said, do I still receive the child support payments? And it had the things listed there. And I kept it on there. I'm 38. Shit, I'm not about to go to jail for fucking public aid fraud. Like some, you know what I'm saying? You all need to, I'm not misappropriating these programs like you all have done. I'm not saying you in particular, Lisa, but what I'm saying is, I'm saying how the Wisconsin Children and Family Services, Department of Health Services, these programs, like, you all are just doing whatever. And just like I was told that, okay, I want to be able to take care of my son or whatever. And I had told them my son is not living with me. I'm actually, out on my own, my son, but I want to be able to feed my son. And I was told, okay, well, I can have him on my food share case. Nearly a year later, I was told that he can't be on there. So every person has a different rationale, a different set of rules. It's almost like you all are making it up as you go. I'm not buying into that. I'm no longer accepting that.
You couldn't be on your case?
Yeah, I was told that that since my son was not since he was not actually with me, but I take care of my son. I still have custody of my son, but he's at my mom. He's at my mom's house. Would be why.
Yeah, if he's with someone else, even though you have custody, then yeah, you wouldn't be able to have him on your case.
But I'm honest about it. I didn't try to hide that. I told him from the beginning. in April of 2024. I told them, and they said, yeah, you can have your son on your case. That's fine. And I had my son on my case the whole time. And then when I try to talk to these people and explain, like, okay, well, this is how it is. I want to make sure that it's listed that I'm still trying to take care of my son, that I'm still can bring food to my son and this and that and the other. And because I have so much stuff I have to do. And I'm not just going to go and just get any random job, because I don't give out things that I don't approve of. I'm not going to go and work at a job that's drugging the community and, serving stuff that I don't agree with. I'm not doing it. And there's no jail that you can force me into to make me do that sort of thing. You see what I'm saying? And so I have so much that I have to do in my personal life through all my endeavors, through all my plans, through my court orders, everything. And so I said, okay, well, at least I can show that I can still, utilize these food stamps or whatever, and give, make sure that, hey, I'm trying to do something, but I still, whether or not you all give me food stamps or not, I still do what I want to do for my children. So I don't need you to help me do that. But I had mentioned it. And then when someone else told me, I said, oh, okay, so that's fine. And I didn't keep them on there. I did say, well, no, that's not what I was told. I said, it's not a big deal, because I don't now, here today, I don't want you all taking care of my son, feeding my son. I can feed my son again. So I don't want my son to be on food stamps. So I'm happy anyway how it goes. But you all are not putting in the right information that you're supposed to put in for my stuff. And like I said, so.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is work with the supervisor. We'll pull up the call clips and go through everything to make sure that you are getting the correct amount in food share, because there's a lot going on here.
Oh, no, you're not
calls and
why do you have to work with the supervisor?
I just want to make sure that it's correct, because there's a history here, and I can only go back so far to see this, where supervisors have more access than I do. So let me do that and have either them or myself, one of us will give you a call back.
But why are you now taking initiative?
You have a lot of valid points, and this is the first time I personally have worked on your case, so I want to make sure that it's accurate.
Yeah, because did you see, like you said, valid points, so did you do, what were you just finding in your research just now? I heard your keys typing.
Yeah, we have to put case notes on here with the call clip number, so if they ever do have to go back and listen to the phone call, they can pull that call clip up. So that's what you heard, was me adding the caller ID signature number to your case, because I'm sure they're going to want to listen to our call as well as the previous call, just to make sure that everything is accurate. I know we saw a different amount in child support, I did, versus the previous call. So that's something that they'll want to review as well to make sure that it's being counted correctly.
Okay, but like you said, as far as those valid points, what valid points did you find that I said to you?
Well, you were saying that your child support fluctuated, which is correct. That's valid. I do see different payments amount. The one individual's payments were pretty much the same, but the other individual's amounts varied, like you said, from $7 to $40. It's not the same every week, so there was a difference there, which is correct. You were talking about your son being on the case and off the case and stuff. I understand that. So, those are all valid points.
Yeah, because he's not on the...
But right. I did look. It is just you on here. And I did see the letter that you brought up about receiving the $292. So that was another valid point that you mentioned. So that's why I would like someone to review this, because I want to make sure that this is correct for you. We don't want this to continue on and keep snowballing. let's make sure that as of today, it's accurate and correct.
Right, true, because the problem too is you all are trying to like claim me as if you all are taking care of me, but I mean for what, like $130 a month? Like by the time I buy, you know, maybe like the seasons that I like, whatever it is, salt and pepper and things like that, that's and maybe like something for one meal or something, because I don't like now, I'm especially not cooking. I do not eat animal products. I eat fruit. You know, I eat plant food. Like,
Sure,
you know,
yeah. I understand that none of that is cheap, especially nowadays.
I don't eat. I don't
my
eat
personal
animal
grocery
products.
bills keep going up and up and up as well. So
like with me,
it seems to be more expensive to eat healthy than it is to not eat healthy.
And that's the thing, and that's where you all are
I totally understand that.
You all are configuring a lot of that for, you know, saying 10-cent pack of noodles and things like that. But I have to take this to a higher level because this is a disparity amongst people nationwide with the food share program, because you're not giving enough. People can barely even, like I said, I can barely even pay a phone bill and eat. I'm hungry sometimes. And there's no amount of lip balm or lip gloss that's going to hide the dehydration and the things. And then on top of that, you all want me to go and work for you all. And so I'm going to be burning energy just to get $199 a month. You want me to go work a job like 40 hours a week for $199 a month? That's slavery. You know, I would have to do everything. I would have to get to those places.
I really think that we should review everything and make sure that you're getting the most that you possibly can. You know, and then if you need to escalate it from there, you're certainly welcome to do that. But let's make sure that at least on this level, everything is as accurate as it should be.
But you can't leave that other person, those other two, that, I mean, it's been quite a few, but you said, you know, that person who did escalate the call, that was not why I asked. It was about, I wanted to talk to a supervisor because of her phone etiquette.
Yeah, and you said that the phone number was not correct. So let's make
what
sure
phone
we
numbers do you have on there? What phone numbers do you have? What phone numbers do you have though? Because I did update it with the 1-262-505-7137 number on there, but apparently you don't have that phone number. So can you update
that? I'm not showing. Let me
1-262. I'll say another number that you can call back on.
Okay.
Or your supervisor.
Okay, great.
1-262-498-6963.
6963. Okay.
Yeah, 1-262-498.
That one I do have on file.
So whatever, if you can call me on that 1-262-498-6963 number, and then that 421 number, I had it for a year, and then I something that happened to it. So I had kept up with that number, and I just, man, I tried to maintain a stable phone number, and it just didn't work out. But you know, you have that 498 number, and so that's important. But otherwise, when would you all be calling me so I can know?
Well, it is 11:24 now. They have 24 to 48 hours to return a call. So keep an eye on your phone because it will come up under an 800 number. It'll come up as that 888-794-5820 number.
Okay.
All right. A lot of times if people don't recognize an 800 number, they won't answer. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. It will come up as an 888 number.
Oh, I can answer when you all call. That's fine. But yeah, I just want to make sure because, you know, I have to make note of this and understand what happened because some numbers are, whether it's whatever it is, but you all did send out notice. and that was supposed to be accurate, and all these different things. Now, did you already put in, because you did not confirm it, that I want you to send me a copy of that online application from
I would
March?
have to get the original application from the supervisor. I did send you a copy of the letter saying you were getting the 292.
Yeah, you did say
that I have access to, but the original application they'll have to send you. And I'll put that in my email request to her.
And so you said original application. So is there a different kind of application as well, or?
No, the one that you're referring to.
Oh, okay. And can you tell me what date that you see that I have first ever applied for food share?
Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can pull that up.
It was probably food stamps.
So
or something.
my records go back to March 1st of 2018.
That isn't even close.
Well, it only stores so much information for me to see. But yeah, anything further than that, a supervisor would have to pull up any archived information.
And so what agency do you all work out of, like for food share? Who is the funding agency for the state of Wisconsin?
WKRP.
But who is the funding?
Wisconsin Kenosha Racine Partners.
Who funds from the state of Wisconsin, though? Who funds?
The Department of Human Services.
Okay, so that's not the Department of Agriculture?
No.
Okay, so it's just Human Services?
Department of Human Services, yeah, DHS.
Not Health and Human Services, but only Human Services?
Correct.
Okay, so because DHS, that's why I'm careful, because DHS also means Department of Health Services.
Yeah, if you Google Wisconsin DHS food share program, it'll show you. It's health services, human services, health services.
Right, because I have asked you all to send me out your policies to know more about your policy. I don't have a lot of information from all the way from when I was way younger. Okay, when I applied, I was not so much interested in any of that because you know what? I was banking on trusting you all. I wasn't signing over my life. I was just saying, hey, I have a dad, I have a mom. I can get this little money because I just think I'm grown. And I want to be able to say I can buy my own food and I don't have to worry about, my dad spending too much money on me because I want my dad to think I'm grown. But the thing about it is, okay, my dad wasn't eating the food from my food stamp card. Of course, I was eating on my own. But I had to soon realize that I have to thoroughly read it. Now, you all had many changes from when I first went through this program up until today's date. And so I have been trying to get that information. And a lot of times people get really upset. They don't want to talk about the policy. They don't want to tell me about any of those things. And it becomes a fight over the phone. I can run my mouth all day and I can match up to these people, but why should I?
Everything is out there online. I'm not hiding anything from you. But yeah, if you go under wisconsinaccess.gov, you should be able to pull up a lot of questions or answers to your questions that you might have.
Right, but I'm trying to get this stuff mailed out to me in paper form.
Sure.
Like all the
Yeah,
ins and
let me
outs.
go ahead and get you in touch with the supervisor, and they can pull up any archived information that you need and send it to you.
Okay.
If you want email copies or hard copies mailed to you, we're more than happy to do
Well,
that.
go ahead and put that note in, and then so you can just send it right out to me to that mailing address, and so that it won't waste any time
Sure.
as well. I want all that archived
Yeah.
information. Yeah, I want it all sent to me in paper form, and so I can have
I'll
all
put a
that
note on
stuff.
here as well.
Okay, so make sure you send that out,
right
and
now
then
before I send it to the supervisor.
because today is Tuesday, so you all should be calling me before noon on Thursday, perhaps, because you all
Correct.
close early on Fridays. So,
Correct. Yeah.
you don't stay open until 4. I believe you close probably around like 12 o'clock p.m. or something like that. So,
Yeah, I'm sure you'll hear from one of them before then, but yeah.
okay, so I appreciate the information, Lisa. And
Oh, yeah, you're very welcome.
I also appreciate you even, just speaking, the truth about my valid points, because I'm not here to argue in an adverse way. My argument is thorough
Well,
and it's
right.
healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Sure,
because I can't
right.
argue because
well,
that's
when
just,
you're getting different amounts, that's why I'm personally, I'm more comfortable having someone review it, because why do we have different amounts? I can only see so much on here, but they can go back and pull up the call clips and case history, and I want to make sure that you're getting what you should get.
yeah, because
I'm here to help.
Because
I'm not trying to argue with you. I want to help
well,
you
no,
as
I
best
can
I
argue.
can.
I can argue on my own. An argument just means that I'm just serious about whatever I'm talking about. And I know there could be different definitions or whatever the situation is, but for me, that's just me just making sure that I continue to have control and power of the conversation. Just a serious conversation. That's all that is. And so I
Sure.
just want to make sure.
And I'm the same way. I like hard copies of everything. I like to have that in front of me that I can read and keep a record of with any of my personal information as well. So I agree with you.
So, yeah. And so that's all it is. I like books. I like to be able to touch and hold my stuff. And if anything ever happens with how, I don't always have, everything I need. I may not be able to access the internet or go to where I need to go to for that reason. And therefore,
Right.
I make sure that I have the paper copy, because then I can get the education and things that I need, and I can highlight different things. And I know there's different devices out there where I can highlight electronically, but I just don't have the resources for that right now. And even then, I still, I'm like myself, you're yourself, but what I'm saying is, like, I still want to make sure that I have this stuff in my hand, because there's something that cannot
Right.
be erased as well. And so it's just really important.
Yep, I totally understand. I agree. I'm the same way, especially when it comes to medical bills and things like that. I like those hard copies in front of me.
It's also just speaking truth into power, and so that's just
Right.
my look and my
Well,
opinion.
and then you have dates, you have amounts, it's written in black and white, it's right there in front of you, So I
And that
agree.
it can always be scanned or, but it's always good to have some kind of like original copy. I'm just really particular about that. And it's just something that I just prefer. I still write in my notebooks. I have all of my information. I still like
Right.
taking notes. And a lot of times it's a fight, because it's like, why do you want to know my name? I don't have to tell you. I want to know your name so I can take notes. This is thorough. I want to know. I'm going to write down
Yeah.
the time of the call. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to write down who I
Right,
talked to,
right.
what I, right
And
now.
that's probably one of the most common verifications. By state regulations, we have to ask for 2 forms of verification. So typically it's a name or a date of birth. It might be a phone number or your middle initial, but we have to have 2. And it can be a combination of any of those, or an address even. So you can provide any of that even if they ask for your name, you can say you're not comfortable providing that. You can verify it with your address or your phone number. We just need to. So that's why you're asked for that. That's probably the most common one that we ask for.
But see,
just to make sure we have the right case. Sometimes one number off on that case number makes a big difference.
Yeah, sure. And it almost did today. And that's why I said, wait, can you verify?
Yeah.
But then you caught right on. And so I appreciate that. Like, you recognize that you look over your own stuff and you do your job and I do mine. That's how this works. You don't try to sit there and look over on my paper and do your stuff. You check yourself. And so I said, okay, that's good, because I was like, wait a minute, I know that I read this. I shouldn't have any insecurities here. You know what I'm saying? But even if you would say, you know what, I didn't get that exact number, can you say it again? It wasn't like you said, oh, you know what? You didn't tell me the right number in the first place. See, that's a total different situation or whatever. But then sometimes I ask, what's your name? What's your position? What do you do? Because I've been through this stuff. So I already know the next steps. I'm not calling for you to teach me anything. I'm not on your level. I'm wherever I am and you're wherever you are. And so I like to take notes. I like to write my stuff down, and it validates it. It gives me something to talk about. So I know, wait a minute. I'm looking back here today on April 22nd, 2025. I talked on the phone to Lisa for about 55 minutes or something. It says I've been on the phone for 1 hour and 9 minutes, but I know I was on hold.
Yeah, and 59 minutes.
and this is what I discussed with this person, and it gives a lot of insight and information, but it also speaks to the fact that I know what I'm talking about, and someone can't say it never happened. It's always important to get things in writing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and like you say, you're recording, we're recording, so everything is documented. But yeah, it helps to have names and dates and things like that.
But even when I'm recording, I know I'm going to be true about it. You all still have to be honest on your recording. You know what I'm saying? Because I've had a situation where I recorded, but it didn't matter to anybody else because they didn't care about that recording. They only cared about what that next person wrote. They didn't even care what I wrote. You know what I'm saying? So then I have to go back, and if litigation or some court process, I say, wait, what is this all about? But so that's a good thing, that I didn't have to take it that far where, I'm still talking to you, on the phone for 1 hour, Lisa. And, you all at the Department of Human Services.
We're good friends now. It's been an hour.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that. No, I'm not your friend. I'm not your good friend or anything like that. But I can say is that, it's just a matter of just being accountable. You know what I'm saying? And just being able to hold a conversation and being professional and knowing that I'm not the same as you. You're not the same as me. There's some things that I didn't agree on. But you know what? When you said $201, I still said, well, you know what? I still get that $67 payment, but sometimes I get an additional $7 payment. Sometimes I get an additional $60 payment. I was not dishonest to you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't try to say, I know for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could have been like, yeah, I know for sure. I'm about to get this $290. It's not worth it to me. So I said, well, maybe the way that you all are looking at it is a total different way. And then you said more because I was going to ask you, okay, because I didn't really know how you all did your numbers, but all I know is you all have the accurate information. It hasn't been a change, but my own responsibility is to be honest with you all. You all are in my business. It's not like you can't look the information up too, but if I'm going to have you, if I'm calling, I'm going to just tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because that's as much as you can get from me. That's as much as you can get from me.
Well, that's all we ask for. I'm being honest with you. You're being honest with me. We just have to get you, the benefits you're entitled to.
And ultimately, it's really me being honest with myself because this is all my problem. You know what I'm saying? It's your program or whatever, but it affects me. It can go either way. I'm not going to get some grand indictment and some felony or anything like, some despicable type of reason or another, or something that is just unnecessary. So that's, like I said, I'm not your friend, I'm not your family or anything like that, and I'm not your all's patient, but it's just for me to say, I can appreciate the information in the call, and, there's no emotional attachment whatsoever, but at least I know that the purpose of this call was, that I got a little bit more information and some understanding, and then the envelope can be pushed a little further, opened up and read and configured from there, I suppose.
Right.
But, if nothing has ever happened, every time I call, it's been times where I've called you all and I got nowhere. Seriously, like I've called and I had to go through the same, and it's been times where I had an extremely productive call, and then I call the next person, they don't want to verify any information, and it's just like nothing ever happened the previous time. So it just really depends. But I find that
all over again. Yeah.
And I find that you all are the same job position. Why is it that you all are different, like that? And so I said, you know what? It's personal toward me, whatever the situation is. But I know how to handle that. I'm going to start making records. I'm going to start filing complaints, because this goes back years. It was some situations back in 2003. I was even begging to get off of food stamps, and the woman would not even let me. She just refused to even take me off of food stamps because I had enough at that time. And I said, you know what?
Oh, wow.
I make sure, I get this little child support. My son gets a check. I don't need this shit, and that's just how I said it, because it was just like, I've had so much of the problem, and it was just so disrespectful, where it was just like, this is where, at the level where I'm taking it to, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how I exactly felt about it. You know what I'm saying? This has nothing to do.
Well, and you want a resolution, so I get it. What else can you do? I get it.
It's a continuation, actually. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a continuation until I decide. Like I said, I might not be getting food stamps for a long time, because I don't know what kind of work you are. Like, I have a letter here that you all want me to do some FSET program or something. But I don't know much about it, but it's 40 hours or something a week of some free work for somebody. And that's not good enough for me, especially for $199 a month. I be spending all my money trying to get to wherever you all want me to go, or my time, be there all day, and I can't handle I have so many matters of myself. So I have to also call to there, and see, but I don't even know if this is the phone number for the FSET program or not. Because I know that it said that you all had scheduled an interview for me or whatever, but I can find that information. But the fact of the matter is, the Kenosha Job Center doesn't even want me to call. They said, because I was asking their receptionist questions, and the receptionist didn't want to answer my questions, and they told me that I cannot even call there. So that's another problem. Why would I go to a building where they all just want to fight me at a real personal level? You know how some things are, locally, people have their own personal competitiveness or hatred or whatever, but that serves no place with me. Because if you cannot separate your job from your personal life, I don't need to keep walking into this sort of situation.
Right.
Because I pick my level.
You can't do that when you're in customer service.
You see what I'm saying? Then I go to jail, and then it's not worth it to me. Paying my time and living a life of crime. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. You don't want to go that route. Yeah. No.
But then I have to say something, and then they find that they're a little bit better than me. And like I said, you all are still getting the same amount of money from tax. You getting money from the taxpayers' dollars and everything, but it's just given to you in a different way. And people had to realize that. And I had to realize that with financial aid too. It's all government money. But the thing is how you apply for it. You have to know how to exactly apply for it, and if you can apply for it that way, to be creative and whatever it is. But all of that money is out there, whether I have to pay it back, I'm going to have to pay it back one way or another. You know what I'm saying? And so I prefer to just say, is it worth it? And so I have to get out here and handle my own stuff to get to my own freedoms, because this is a form of slavery for me. It really is a form of slavery.
Yeah.
And so because I know that it's a form of
I sent that request over to the supervisors. So they have that on file. Like I said, they should be giving you a call back within 24 to 48 hours. It could happen sooner than that.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm sure they'll have a resolution for you, and you can kind of make that decision when you talk to them. But they are a wealth of knowledge. So if you have a list of questions that you want to ask them, have it ready for when they call you back.
Sure, and just make sure you all send me those exact policies and things like that. I'm interested in the policies. I mean, I'm demanding them. They're mandatory that I get them. So I just hope that you can get that sent out or whatever. And then, like I said, because I believe it's a form of slavery, I can read more into it and I can continue to speak truth into power. And so that I can make sure that I continue to live and breathe and be myself. I'm starving out here.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a problem.
Yeah.
And why do I have to allow someone to say that they basically own me in so many ways, but I'm still starving? You know what I'm saying? It's not good enough. Cause like I said, I don't eat meat and you all are saying, oh, you're giving me money to eat, but how is that even enough? You know, for even more than maybe 1 week, a week and a half. And like I said, the money that I get, it goes to food and whatever I choose to spend it on. So Lisa, I appreciate the call and I look forward to you all calling me.
We'll get a resolution for you here. Like I said, I sent that in, so they have the request. You could hear back from them sooner than 24 to 48 hours, but that's typically the time frame that they have.
Can you define resolution? Because I know that you did mention that, and I had said it's a continuation. So can you define resolution so I can know exactly what you mean by that? Because that also means other things as well.
The correct outcome of everything for you.
Oh, okay, because I don't, correct outcome. Okay, so what is that correct outcome? Can you tell me exactly what that means? Because I mean, with my wealth of knowledge, I can see that from different ways too. And that's because, as I said, I look at things from different dimensions. Because like I said, it would be going over your case and having a final decision made as to the amount of food share that you're looking for. Okay, because, even just to make you aware or to tell you, sometimes there are resolutions read at funerals. You know what I'm saying? And it's an appropriate question to ask you. Or I don't know if you mean it, you can mean anything. It's a discharge or anything. So that's why I said, because these are all technical things. Food and medical, they're one and the same. But this food, what you give me is not enough to be called a prescription or to be under your care like that. I'm not looking at food share like that. But that's why I want to read into this, because I cannot continue to give my life and put my life into someone's hands. Like, I want to know, what kind of religion are you all basing, these things off of? Like, what are you subscribing to? How are you, that's what I have to know about this whole program that you all have for medical as well, but also for food share. So that's something I know that you all are going to be listening to the calls and reviewing the calls and things like that. And I appreciate that because, like I said, I tried to get through to that other person, and a lot of your coworkers are hurrying through the calls and they have inaccurate information, and they're basically seeming like they're trying to get like 15 minutes of fame instead of being thorough. And I'm just not that type of person. I'm more of a person who is thorough in my reach, and I do what I have to do. So those are some questions that, I would like answered when I talk to whoever is calling me back within 24 to 48 hours.
Like I said, they're a wealth of knowledge, and they'll be able to answer any questions you have. So even if you think of any others in the meantime, jot them down so when they do call you, you have them ready to go, because they're more than happy to help with anything you need.
I definitely have my notebook here, and I am just making sure here constantly that whatever I come up with, I'm making my notes, and I'm very thorough and detailed with it.
Sure.
So I'm definitely
Yeah, well, that's good. That's a good quality to have.
so it's just much better than me having to continue to be a quantity to someone else, so
Yeah.
appreciate it though. So
All right. Well, then we'll get off the phone so we give them an opportunity to call you. And like I said, if you have any other questions, just jot them down. They'll be happy to answer them for you when they call.
I actually had
And
some
keep
other...
an eye out because it will come up as that 888 number.
Okay, sure. So it's
Just so you recognize it, yeah.
1-888-887-9458.
And you don't miss the call. Yeah, it'll be 888-794-5820.
Okay, sure, Lisa. And I appreciate you all there
All
at
right.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, no, you're very welcome. Yeah, you have a great rest of your day.
Just this call, but it's not me settling or it's not erasing all the other problems. But what I can say is I got the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to be able to talk because I really appreciate my life. And everything that I do is I'm just so happy that I can do it. I'm just amazed with my capability. It's like if someone has a baby and you see, oh my goodness, the baby's holding their head up. They're opening their eyes. They're crawling. They're walking. They're using the I'm still doing that with myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm just so
well, we can be grateful for every day we have, right?
I'm just so happy, and so, but to understand this and be able to, in such a situation, I'm not in a dying world, Lisa. I'm in a living world. And not everyone is looking at life that way. Some people are looking on their way out, but I'm looking at my way in. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Whether the glass is half full or half empty, right? It's all how you look at it.
And I prefer, even if it's an empty glass, I want to make sure that it's to my standard. You know what I'm saying? Because some glass I can drop 1,000 times and it won't break. You know what I'm saying? And some glass, as soon as I drop it, it breaks. I can hold it in my hand.
Everything.
I can get it out the oven and put it in some water and it'll shatter. So it's all about the glass too. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm looking at.
It's all how you handle it. You're right.
So it just really depends. So it's just good to have a healthy conversation. And so I appreciate that.
Well, it has been a pleasure speaking with you today.
Well, it's not a pleasure call or anything like that, but it's good that you can take care of yourself. I'm surely taking care of myself. So I have to be careful because I don't want to get obscene on the phone. And that's another fun thing.
All right. Well, you have a great rest of your day.
Okay,
you take care.
Lisa. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Bye now.
Okay, so that was just, a point of call, a point of reason. And I am happy with the call because I was just able to talk and just to let these people know, listen, this is what it's about. I'm more about detail. I'm more about being thorough. Yes, I want to make sure I get that $290 worth, but I also want accurate information. I don't want any of my stuff to be all messy. I want my business in order. Like some people say, they got to get their house in order. You know what I'm saying? This is not a house of cards. This is a real thing. And not that cards are not real, because I'm not going to mess around. Because that's a fundamental, and that's how some people really understand things and they live beautiful lives. So I'm not hating on anything, please. It's not a disrespectful thing. It's not a respectful thing because, just because I know that I have been too disrespectful does not mean that anybody can say that I'm disrespectful or respectful because they don't fit in that category. But, I appreciate it. So right now, it's 11:54. I started this call at 9:45, and this is usually how a lot of my calls are. And it's very important. And, this is why I know, as far as my capabilities and my competency, it is what it is. And that's why I wonder, it's just like, this is what it's all about. And no, it's not always going to be bread and butter, but I'm learning about other things, and so find great reason to just continue no matter what the situation is. And people are looking, and people are wondering, and people are watching. But one thing, if you are looking and wondering and watching or whatever, be fair. Look at the difference and just hear. Don't overlook it and say that, oh, I'm trying to prove a point, because I already have established I'm trying to prove a point. I can handle whatever it is that is well within my rights, but well within my means. What I set out for, I know that is reachable, that I can attain it. So this is what this is all about. I have some more calls. I actually have to have a bowel movement, stuff like that, and drink some water and just handle some stuff. But I'm going to come back on with another live video and make some more calls today. That's what I'm kind of up to right now. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. So, oh, my. I'm here. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis.